What's up, everyone? This is Betamax. My name is Fidel. Joining me, as always, is Eddie and Birdie. What's up, guys?
What is up?
What's up?
You guys scared yet? We're in October.
Ooh.
Spooky season.
Spooky.
On this episode, we're going to be talking about a couple of Spanish folktales. Just some things like El Cucuy. And the main one was going to be about La Llorona. And we also watched the movie. So we're going to be talking about that as well. But I got this book at Sergio's record store, the Midnight Hour. And it's called Chicano Folklore, a guide to the folktales, traditions, rituals, and religious practices of Mexican Americans by Rafaela G. Castro. And I was skimming through it, and it has some pretty interesting stuff in here. And I came across this one folktale that I've never heard of. Are you guys familiar with any Spanish folktales at all? Or Spanish legends and shit like that?
Mexican.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Cucuy.
Yeah, that seems to be one of the most popular ones, like El Cucuy or La Llorona. I really don't know of any others.
Yeah.
What about you, Eddie?
I know about them, but
yeah.
I didn't grow up hearing about that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Spit it out, dude.
I think our parents just really tried scaring the shit out of us.
Yeah.
When we were kids. But I think there might be more that they know that we don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think if we dug deeper into our parents' heads, we would get a shitload more.
Yeah.
But they were always working or doing other shit that just didn't get to tell us all the scary, spooky stuff.
Yeah. Well, have you guys heard of one called El Mal Ojo, or the Evil Eye?
Ooh, is that a sexy innuendo? I'm just kidding.
It can be. Now, have you ever heard of it?
No.
The story behind it?
Mm-mm.
Well, I know Eddie has because I told him about it, but I'm going to read what it's about. And it says, Mal Ojo, which translates to bad eye, is commonly known as the evil eye. It may also be called Mal de Ojo or just Ojo. It is a syndrome of folk illness believed to be transmitted by certain individuals, witches, some think, who have a special power. Mal ojo may be transferred by a peculiar person who gazes at a weaker person, a woman or a child, and the ill effects are felt immediately. Socially, it can indicate that a person has been more familiar with another person than social and cultural manners permit. The glance or power of a stronger person causes an adverse consequence on the weaker person, who is often a baby or a child. Excuse me. The fear of mal ojo also indicates that mothers and other adults are distrusting of a person who acts in a more familiar way than is culturally appropriate. It is thought that people with weak blood are more susceptible to receiving mal ojo. The symptoms of mal ojo are vomiting, diarrhea, loss of weight, and sometimes even death. Witches can deliberately give someone the evil eye. Other times it is done unintentionally by persons who just happen to have a powerful gleam. A person may give another the evil eye because of a feeling of jealousy. If a person covets or is envious of a child, he or she may give that child the evil eye. Preventative measures that may diminish the possibility of a child getting mal ojo are to touch the child's cheek or make the sign of the cross on the child's forehead. Sometimes the evil eye may be undone and the illness avoided of the person who casts the glance pats the person's head or temples, immediately relieving him or her of the curse. If the illness is induced by a witch, another type of remedy must be sought. This is nuts, and it gives an example of what you can do to cure it. And it says you do something called barrer con un blanquillo, which translates to sweep with an egg, where you sweep the ill person with an uncooked egg across their whole body, without touching their body. And then afterwards you break the egg in a bowl of water and put the bowl underneath the bed and it's supposed to like gather all their sickness. And then if the egg is cooked by morning, that means like they had mal ojo.
Bruh.
Hey, has anybody like have you had anything like that in your family? Like any like your parents done weird shit like that?
Not like that. Damn, I'm like sweating a lot.
Are you scared? You're scared, huh?
I'm scared.
This motherfucker scared.
It's fucking hot. Not anything like that, but like it's not like shocking to me because it is like a common thing like with amongst like older Mexicans. You know what I mean? But like as far as like something like that, no.
No.
Yeah.
Because one day I want to go. We have 3 bathrooms at our house.
Oh, it's a spooky story. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. It's super spooky. All right, hold on to your butts. All right, so one day, the restroom I usually use was busy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, shit, I gotta take a piss. So I snuck in my sister's room and I started taking a piss in her bathroom.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like on her bed or something. That's fucked up.
Yeah, on her pillow. No, and I saw something hairy like behind the toilet.
What the fuck?
I was like, wait, what the fuck is that? So I looked.
Wait,
over.
how old were you?
This is like maybe like 2 years ago.
Oh man.
Still, that's random.
Spooky.
But let me
All right, go ahead.
So when I was done pissing, I looked over and it was a fucking coconut.
What the fuck, dude?
There was a coconut behind the toilet.
Why?
Because she thinks that shit captures, supposedly it captures like all the bad energy and shit like that. So I don't know, she's like, I couldn't find a place to put it without my cat fucking with it or something like that. So she put it behind the toilet. And my mom does that shit too, though. She'll put it like on the windowsill.
Yeah.
Like in the kitchen. And I remember one time I was like, I wanted to open it up because I wanted to eat it. And she's like, no, like it has bad
You wanted
vibes
to
and
eat
shit.
it?
Well, the coconut.
It's behind a fucking toilet, dude.
Not that one.
Oh.
The one on the windowsill. I mean, shit. If I wanted to, it's like it's covered up.
Coconut?
Yeah, supposedly it catches like evil energy and stuff like that.
Oh man.
That's crazy. Like, no, I've never. I mean, I guess you could say like the weirdest thing that I've encountered like with my mom is like whenever I would be sick, she would like have this thing with like onions. Like you put like a raw onion in a Tupperware container next to your bed.
Fry them up and feed them to you?
No, like a raw onion in a Tupperware container next to your bed while you're sick, and like in the morning it's supposed to be like all like black and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it like sucked up all your sickness or whatever. I don't know.
She did that shit on you?
She did it to me once, and like.
Do you remember if it was like all black?
I don't remember. You ever had anything like that, Birdie?
I think like the most gnarliest thing was like like I was in middle school and I used to live in Long Beach.
Yeah.
And like me and like my family, we used to live in like this like back house deal. We all used to like live in like one room. And I remember like out of nowhere, like my mom had came home. And like we were watching TV and like somebody was cooking something and she just shut everything off. Like she was just like turn the TV off, turn the stove off, like just go to your beds. And it wasn't even late. It was like 8 at night. It was like a school. I think it was like a Sunday night. But I mean, we would like usually try and go to bed like around 10 or 11.
Yeah.
But it was 8, and she was just like turn it off. And then like she didn't let us like sleep on our own. Like she like told all of us, like my siblings and me, like just like come sleep in my room. Like I don't want to sleep alone, because like her husband at the time was like at work. And then like the back house was like connected to the front house, and it was just like a piece of drywall like in this closet area, and she had left like the closet open, and all we heard was like these like, it sounded like a group of people praying together, but it didn't sound like regular Catholic prayer, like how we were used to doing.
Yeah.
Like, cause we grew up Catholic. Like it just sounded weird. Like we didn't know what it was, but I think my mom knew. We never asked her about it, because every time we asked her about it, she would just be like she would either change the subject or just be like straight up, don't worry about it. Like don't fucking ask me. Don't ask me about that.
Yeah.
But that's probably like the gnarliest thing that I've experienced that's come close to like something spooky like that. Other than that, like it's all stories from like people, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Well, another story I came across in this book is actually a pretty popular one. I mean, I would think is a popular one. El Cucuy. You guys ever heard of El Cucuy, right?
That's you, right?
The boogeyman.
Yeah. John Wick.
Well, it says in here,
According to your research.
says a scary figure invoked by Chicano mothers of the Southwest to keep their children obedient. His appearance is still used as a threat. If one didn't behave or do what one was told, ahí viene el cucuy, which means here comes the boogeyman, was the warning proclaimed, for example, to frighten the children who wouldn't go to bed. And like, when I was reading about this, I never realized like there was other names for it, like el coco. Like I've never heard of that one, but apparently like in other parts of like Mexico, it would be referred to as el coco.
El Coco.
Yeah. But I've only heard of El Cucuy. Did your guys' parents ever scare you or like tell you like El Cucuy's gonna get you or whatever?
Yeah, that was always like the if you're acting up, I'm gonna throw that at you.
Yeah.
You know.
What about you, Eddie?
No, I don't have any experience with that.
No, it was never like for
Really?
me.
Your mama never like.
No. The way I've heard about that was just from
She was never like, Isaac, te va a agarrar cucuys.
No. I heard about it through kids at school.
Yeah.
They would tell me like they were all scared of him or whatever, and I'm like, you guys are weird, dude.
Like for me, like my parents never scared me with it. I always heard it from my grandparents.
Mm.
And like I remember my grandma would always do this thing, like if we were acting up in the living room, she was like babysitting us. She was like, "Oh, va a venir el cucuy," and she would like scratch the wall. It's like, "Oh, es el cucuy."
Ooh,
Te va a agarrar el
dude.
cucuy. And that would scare the shit out of me.
my mom's ex-husband's mom. She used to do that shit.
Yeah.
It didn't used to scare me. It used to piss me off.
Why?
Because it sounded like nails on a chalkboard
Oh,
to
yeah.
me. So like when she did it, instead of me getting scared, like I would want to fucking square up with that old lady, dude.
That's crazy though that your parents never.
The closest thing I've come to anything like that was when I was like in elementary school. I would go to Mexico a lot, and I had an aunt out there that like I fucking like. I loved being around her, but she would always keep me on check, like making sure I was doing my chores and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when I would stay in Mexico, we stayed in this old like big. It was like a giant house, but it was like super old, so it had like a lot of like you know how those houses are in Mexico where like everything's made out of bricks.
Oh, yeah.
It looks kind of sketchy.
Yeah.
And at night, like it's just like there's no real like electricity going through the house.
Mm-hmm.
So everything's like with candles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I remember next to the kitchen there was this like little tube sticking out. This little metal tube, maybe like 4 or 5 inches long. And she would tell me like, oh, like if you're being bad, like they're gonna talk to you, the bad guy. She might have said the cucuy. I don't remember her saying that, but she said somebody like was gonna talk to me through that and like tell me stuff if I was being bad.
Yeah.
And of course I didn't listen. But she would. Later on, I realized that this pipe was like connected to the very top of the roof of the house. So she would go up there and like say shit. And like I'd be able to hear it all the way down
shit.
there.
That's like some diabolical shit.
Yeah, and she would say like, "Oh, you better clean your room" in Spanish and stuff, and it would freak me the fuck out, dude. Like, it was so bad. Like I would not be able to sleep at night, like thinking like, "Fuck, is my room clean enough?" Like, it was so bad. I think that's the only time like somebody ever scared me with it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But other than that, I don't think I have like any other experience with it.
Dude, that's fucking gnarly.
Yeah.
It seems like Hispanic parents tend to use like fear as like a disciplinary measure.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, we grow up being afraid of shit all the time. Like,
I'm not scared. Sleep already.
No. Where are you gonna sleep, dude?
yeah, I like inside jokes. Hope to be a part of one someday.
Probably not though.
Yeah, probably not. Well,
really quick, have you guys ever been to a metal show?
I've been to a brujeria show.
I saw Asesino at Showcase.
I mean like a black metal show. Like
no, not in the black
like
metal
that kind
show.
of metal.
No.
I've been to a brujeria show.
I remember like this was like maybe 6-7 years ago. I went to like it was like really my only first and only like real experience with that.
Mm-hmm.
But they're like all about like superstition and shit.
Really?
And because I remember they would light candles and do like some weird chants before the show started.
Was
And,
it like satanic rituals?
No,
No.
it was like they would burn sage and stuff.
Mm.
And I know a lot of people that do that to like ward off evil spirits and shit like that. But I've never seen that happen like at a show, like with like young people hanging out and them doing that. So it was like interesting to see that. Like I thought it was kind of.
What show was it?
It was my homie Ivan's band that was playing. Off the top of my head, I can't remember his band name, but it was just a bunch of like local like black metal bands, things like.
Where was it at? Like at a house or?
It was in downtown Riverside somewhere. Yeah, it was in someone's like garage thing that they had.
Yeah.
But it was pretty cool. They had like a bar there, and they had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they would serve like food from there. I think that was like their own little business. And yeah, but it was mostly like a bunch of Hispanic kids, but yeah, they were like, lighting candles, like setting the mood, and like it looked like it was Halloween in there, but it was like February or something.
You said like they're pretty superstitious. When you said superstitious, it reminded me of another thing that I believe is like more popular amongst like Hispanics. Did you hear that?
A gunshot?
All right, keep going.
That was weird.
Man, I'm glad I'm not sleeping here tonight.
But fuck, what was I saying? Okay, yeah.
I was scared.
As far as like superstitions go, another like popular one is like Hispanics like to put mirrors in the living room facing the front door because that's also supposed to like ward off evil spirits. Have you ever heard of that one? No,
I haven't even seen that.
My mom is like a strong believer of that. So if you ever like go to my mom's or like when we lived with my grandma,
maybe I've seen that, I just never noticed it. But
yeah, there's always like some sort of, or even anything that's like reflective. Like, as long as it's, like, reflective facing the front door, it's supposed to, like, ward off evil spirits. Have you ever heard of that, Birdie?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
That's weird. Yeah, like, that was, like, a common thing. Maybe it's not as popular as I thought, but it was a common thing in my family. If anybody else has heard of that, let me know so I could feel validated, please. I'm scared. So, the main event. La Llorona. I'm sure you guys have heard of La Llorona.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The weeping woman.
Hey, does Chupacabra fall into this?
Me and Fidel talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I told Fidel I feel like that's more of like a Bigfoot kind of thing.
Yeah, you're right.
Like it's not so much a folktale, like it's more of like people claim they've seen it.
Yeah, it's more of like a creature thing.
Yeah, like a urban legend. Like
yeah,
type
I
of
think
thing.
it would be an urban legend more than anything.
Yeah, because we mentioned it yesterday, right?
When we were talking about it.
Yeah, when we had the meeting with Birdie.
Have you guys ever seen the Chupacabras? Because I have.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like seriously?
Yeah, I was sleeping one day, and I heard the cows in my backyard, like making weird noises.
They were having sex, dude.
And when I looked outside, it was the Chupacabras, dude. He was eating them, and he looked at me and said, "You're next." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Dang, he speaks perfect English. You're next, dude.
You are next, young man.
What?
Is that proper? Do you have water?
I'm parched.
So La Llorona. La Llorona is an ancient. The ancient legend of La Llorona has been traced to pre-Columbian times in Mexico. It says she may be represented as an Indian woman, an ugly old witch, or a beautiful woman in white with long flowing hair. According to the tragic legend, there was once There once was a woman who was abandoned by her husband or lover and left with 2 or 3 children. Angry and seeking revenge, she kills her children by throwing them into a river or sometimes by other means. But the river one is like the most popular one, like she drowns them. When she realizes what she's done, she goes insane. She is condemned to spend eternity searching for her lost and dead children. Her legend has been recited for over 300 years, and in contemporary times she is still believed to be wandering the streets in large cities, as well as in small towns of the Southwest, where numerous people report encounters with her. Do you guys remember like how old you were when like you first heard about La Llorona?
Yeah, I was probably like in elementary school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like was it used like to scare you? Like,
Yeah.
Like by your parents, I'm assuming?
Well, it wasn't like to scare. It wasn't like to discipline me, but it was to scare me.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause yeah, I grew up like pretty easily scared, like as a kid, like especially like in elementary, going into like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Like my mom's ex-husband was like pretty into like watching like horror movies a lot, and it got to a point where they had to put me like in the room. I couldn't be like in the living room with the whole family watching a scary movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Cause I was pretty prone to like nightmares and like I still am to this day, like, but I remember like it got pretty bad to the point where like my mom had to teach me like this like special prayer that I had to say before I went to bed every night.
Mm-hmm.
Like she gave me like this little book that had like a special section of the Bible, and like she taught me the rosary, and like she was like just
Do you still remember that stuff?
I think she might have it. As far as the prayers go, no, I don't remember the prayers at all.
No.
But I think she still has like it was like a little kit she made for me. Yeah, she used like an empty VHS case to like put it under my pillow.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you, Eddie? Do you remember your first, when you first heard about La Llorona?
It was probably around elementary school time, but yeah, I think I just found out through, like I said, friends and kids and stuff like that. I don't think my mom ever.
Hey, so your parents never scared you?
No. They cared about me.
Fuck, dude.
What's that like? They cared about me? Dick. I'll be back. I'm gonna go cry real quick. Well, it says here. Well, before I continue, like I was never like the La Llorona was never used to scare me either as a kid. Mm-hmm. Like the same thing I found out through friends. So like I never really like was afraid of it or afraid of her or whatever. So, but yeah,
my parents wouldn't use it on me. It'd mostly be like my older siblings.
Oh, really?
Like if I was acting up and like not sharing the Nintendo or like just being a brat, and like nighttime would come, they'd be like, yeah, I viene, like you should have let me play the fucking Super Mario game, bitch.
Well, it says here, in contemporary text of La Llorona collected in Mexico, it asserts that the original La Llorona was La Malinche, the mistress of Cortez. Cortez abandoned her to return to Spain, and according to the legend, Malinche killed her son with a knife. This could be the source of another characteristic of La Llorona legend. In many variants, the reason for her abandonment by her lover is their class differences. He leaves her for someone of his own class, or for she is an Indian woman or a mestiza, which means mixed race, and he is of pure blood. In other variants, she is a woman of the streets who doesn't want her illegitimate children, so she throws them into the river. She is always described as having long hair down below her waist and is seen wearing a white gown. Sometimes men see her as a temptress and a siren. She entices them to follow her, and then she frightens them with her horrible looks. That's fucked up.
Same.
They are usually found dead the next day. What appears to be an unjust punishment is that La Llorona is condemned to wander for eternity, crying and repenting, searching for her lost children. All mothers who have lost children identify with her and feel her pain. That's a crazy legend. Like it's just crazy how popular it's become even here in the United States, you know? To the point where they fucking made movies.
Recently.
Yeah. And that was weird that like they made both those movies that came out fairly around the same time. Like the American one, that one got like a wide release, the one starring Linda Cardellini.
Yeah.
And the guy, I can't remember the actor's name that played Tuco from Breaking Bad.
Tuco.
But yeah, he's in it also. And then the Spanish version, which I was excited to see that one. But we did see both movies. What did you guys think of the American version? Like, what were your thoughts going into it?
I think we all knew it was gonna suck.
Yeah.
Because we all made fun of it before we even saw it.
Yeah.
I mean,
because we remember we used to see the trailer in theaters.
Yeah.
Well,
they played it all the fucking time.
Yeah, and we would always just laugh throughout the whole thing. And me and you would just be like the only ones laughing.
Yeah.
Like everybody else in the theater would be like, "Oh, it's spooky." We'd be laughing our asses off at how ridiculous that movie looked.
Yeah.
I'm actually like, well, I haven't looked into it, but kind of surprised at the fact that this like the American one didn't get like backlash because of, you know, the whole whitewashing of like Mexican culture like that. Because it was like a Mexican folklore like told by white people.
Yeah.
Because it was directed by a white guy and it was written by like a white guy and a white girl.
And the main cast is white.
Yeah, so I haven't looked into it, but I'm actually a little surprised that people aren't like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Maybe it was just so bad, they're like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's how I felt about it. I was just like, man, I'm never ever going to see this again.
Yeah. And we probably would have never watched it if it wasn't for the idea to talk about it.
Yeah, and
because I had no plans on watching it, like just for the sole purpose of entertainment. No.
Yeah, no. I didn't even.
and it's definitely something I wouldn't watch without you guys.
Yeah.
I would maybe watch 5 minutes of it and be like, I can't do this. Like,
what were some of the things that like stuck out to you that you felt like were just ridiculous?
Just everything. One thing I just how bad. Everything about it was bad.
Yeah.
The acting was not great at all. The music wasn't memorable. The scares were cheap.
Yeah.
It showed,
and they weren't even like good jump scares.
No, they're really like predictable.
Yeah.
But I think the worst part, and it bugged the shit out of me, just was the camera.
The camera work?
And I know it bugged you too.
Yeah, it definitely did.
Because it was just all over the place, and it was like trying to do a lot of different things.
Like it didn't know how it wanted to shoot the movie.
Because it had a lot of steady shots, and it had like a lot of like they were trying to do the long no cut takes.
Yeah. Okay. With that, like usually I can appreciate those, no matter how bad the movie is. You know.
Yeah.
Like I can appreciate those because like that's hard. You know, it's fucking hard. But when it did that one like steady like the long take.
Yeah.
The fact that they try to make it look like it was a handheld, like, because you could tell whenever the cameraman was taking a step with the character, like it wasn't steady cam. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was bugging the shit out of me.
Yeah. See, like,
like if the whole movie was like that, then that's a different story.
Match, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and not only that, they would like attach like these wide angle lenses on it.
That's weird.
I told you, and it kind of warped the picture.
Yeah.
And you can see like the filter lenses on the side of the screen.
Yeah.
I'm just like, how did they not catch this, or they just didn't care? And I don't know, that bugged the fuck out of me because like I know if I was the editor of that movie, like I would have caught that for sure.
Yeah.
There's no way they didn't catch it, so it just leads me to believe that they didn't care.
Yeah.
And they just left it in there. But I don't know, that whole movie just sucked.
Yeah.
Like everything about it. And there was like nothing redeeming about it.
Yeah.
Like we couldn't even make that much fun of it because like it was just that boring.
Yeah.
There wasn't much to find to like keep us entertained. There was a few scenes that made us laugh though. You want to see the one scene that made us crack up?
Which one?
With the shoes?
Oh my god. They did that on purpose. They did that shit on purpose.
I think it was the editor. Like he was probably in the room, like, oh fuck, I'm bored as shit.
He's like, I got this.
Yeah. This is gonna be funny.
What are those?
The one funny joke in this entire movie.
Yeah, they definitely did that shit on purpose.
Do you want to tell the audience what it is?
All I remember is like.
Okay, so
It was like towards the end.
Yeah, the Tuco character, the priest or whatever, he puts like
the
sage,
ex priest.
Yes, ex priest. the cholo that
that guy fucks now.
That found God. He was putting like sage or some bullshit in front of the door so she can't pass.
Yeah.
And then like that's when the camera like zooms in on his shoes. And the kid
it's supposed to be like zooming in on like the shit on the door.
Yeah.
But it's like his shoes are in the shot. Yeah. And the little kid's like, what are those?
And we just looked at each other, started laughing. Like, was that on purpose or not?
That had to be like an inside joke with the editor, like, or whoever set that shot up. Like, they had to have known what they were doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel the same way as you. I didn't find anything redeeming about this movie at all. Every time Linda Cardellini said La Llorona, pissed me the fuck off. It's like, oh my god, just don't even say it. Like, if you're gonna be saying like that, don't even fucking say it. Did you find anything redeeming about it, Brady?
Yeah, I thought the most like there was actually one part where I was like, you know what? This is probably the best part of the movie, dude.
What? Credits?
Yeah.
Fuck, seriously?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Best part of the movie is when it ended.
Yeah, that was upsetting. But like Eddie said, like I would not have watched this by myself. Like this is definitely a type of movie where I would have rather watched with you guys, because like we talk shit about it. But we also saw the one on Shudder, the Shudder exclusive version of La Llorona, which is all Spanish. And like we saw the trailer, and in my opinion, the trailer, it looked promising. It looked like it was going to be decent. Like, what did you guys think going into that one?
I thought this was going to be like the real La Llorona. Like, hey, you know, finally there's going to be a creepy adaptation of this folktale.
Yeah.
Made by people who are about that, who come from that.
Yeah. Who understand it.
Yeah, so I kind of went into it with high hopes, especially after watching the intro that we all were kind of like, oh, that was really cool.
Yeah, that was a strong intro.
Yeah, and to me it failed in the way. Well, let me start off by saying this movie looks great.
It does.
The music is really good. The acting is amazing. But it's just fucking boring.
Yeah.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
And that sucks to say because I think it has a powerful message in it.
Yeah.
You know, about genocide.
Yeah.
And, genocide and rape of these, like, the tribes.
Yeah, like these indigenous people.
Yeah, so... and it's about like a family dealing with that shit because of what their father did. Yeah. And, you know, the grief that comes with that, you know. And it sounds fucking cool when you say what it's about and all that, but I think it would have been a better movie without the Llorona part.
Yeah, it definitely, yeah.
Because I don't know, I think I know they used her as a metaphor, you know, saying like mis hijos, you know. Yeah. As for, you know, like I said, the genocide of their kids and everything. So I get it, but I think it would have been a lot better movie if it didn't involve that at all. Yeah. Because it's not a horror movie, it's a drama. Yeah, and definitely. I don't know, I think it kind of like, to me, I don't think I talked to you guys about this before, but I think the Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix, I think it would have been a better movie without the Joker in it.
Like the Joker aspect of it.
Yeah, and to me, I think they did that to get people in the seats because a movie like that wouldn't have made it.
True.
Because I don't know. To me, like looking back at it, like the whole Joker part of that movie felt pointless, and like the whole scene with like Bruce Wayne felt pointless. Like it's just like why the fuck like it showed this kid for a little bit and that's it. But yeah, like I think it would have been a lot better without that part.
The La Llorona aspect.
Yeah, and I think they did that on purpose to get more people to come see this movie, because if they said, hey, this movie is going to be about the genocide of, you know, these tribes and this and that, people aren't going to care.
Yeah.
They want to see something scary, and they know La Llorona, so this movie's about La Llorona, I'm going to go watch it.
Yeah.
And it sucks that we're at that point that you have to do that. You have to be that sneaky with movies to get people to watch them. But I mean, I don't know. I think it would have been a better film if it didn't involve that.
What did you think, Birdie? Like going into the other one?
I had not looked into it at all. I didn't see a trailer. I just knew. I think you were the one that told me. It's like, oh, there's another La Llorona, but it's like not made by the same people, and it's on Shudder. And then I looked into it, and I noticed that it was like a whole different like production company. Like the cast was like all like, you know, Guatemalan. The director also wrote it with a co-writer who was also like Guatemalan.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I mean,
sounds promising.
Sounds like it's gonna lead somewhere. But I loved it.
You did?
Yeah. I liked it a lot. I thought it was a good drama with horror elements like sprinkled all over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Eddie said, it had a deep message about, you know, Guatemalan people, like the indigenous Guatemalan people, and the genocide that they were put under, and the dictators that kind of just walked away from it and didn't get affected by it. You know, they were never pursued. But the film is kind of like a metaphor of like, you know, it's gonna haunt you no matter what.
Yeah.
Until the day you die.
And like to haunt the family.
Yeah, because I mean, everything you do, it's gonna pass down in generations until it gets solved. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked it a lot. It almost felt like I was watching something that my parents would have told me when I was like in elementary.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because like when my mom or like my dad would use La Llorona, they would use it in the context of like, you know, trying to strike fear into you in order for you to realize something, not really just to fuck with you, just for the sake of fucking with you, or just because like I hate you. And that's how this movie felt, you know, because I have a feeling the director, because I looked into the director's like filmography, he's only made like 2 other movies. A movie called like Tremors, and like another movie called
Tremors.
Tremors?
No, not that Tremors. It's like it's like a drama, Tremors. But another one called like Excolucan or something like that, and it's also about like a Guatemalan village. So he's really about his people.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that a lot. And I like the fact that he took this opportunity to use his folklore in a metaphorical way to tell this story where it's like, it's more than just like the fear that this like pretend woman can put into you, but the fact that it's something that you did that'll haunt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I liked it. It looks beautiful. I mean, the scene. My favorite scene in this movie was the dispositions of the indigenous people giving their witness statements in the court.
Oh yeah, I love that.
The way the camera slowly was panning away from the indigenous woman, and then, you know, going back, Like if you notice, like it just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, which I thought was like it was almost like I don't know. To me, it made me pay attention to her. You know, I was so caught up into what she was saying, and like I felt bad for her, and like I can hear how strong her voice was, because it's weird. I didn't hear any fear in her voice. I heard mostly like someone who was just sick of it, you know, which is like what I would expect from such a strong woman, you know.
I love that shot, especially because to me it looked like they were in like just an all black room. There was like really no background. The only thing you see in the background is like people. You
can still see the crowd.
Yeah.
But their faces are blurred.
Yeah, but like the focus is on her. Like she's the only thing really
and
like
you can
in
even
focus.
see like the dictator's family like on one side and like her family on the other side, and like some camera flashes like just barely visible in the back. Like I thought that shit was fucking gnarly. Like when I was watching that, it almost hypnotized me. But yeah, like I did like this movie a lot. Like I can definitely if I see like the Blu-ray, I'll definitely grab that shit. You know. Yeah.
Does Shudder release some of their movies on
I don't
like
know,
physical
actually.
copies?
I'm not too familiar with Shudder.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that they also had another like Mexican film on there called Tigers Are Not Afraid.
I think you were telling me about that one.
Yeah, we watched it for a bit, but I think all three of us were fucking like dead that night. Because I think all three of us like fell asleep halfway through.
No, you guys took off early, but I finished it.
Yeah. Oh, we watched it at your house?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I still haven't finished that movie. I need to figure out a way to watch it.
It fucking sucks. You don't watch it. No, I'm not even kidding.
Really?
Yeah, it fucking sucked.
Well, I watched half of it at your place, and I was really into it.
No.
I was just.
What was it on? Where were we watching?
It's bullshit. It's one of those. I think it was on Shudder.
It was on Shudder?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well, for me, I think I fall more like in the middle between you guys, because I did like the movie. I mean, I didn't love it, but I did like it. But I did also find like it kind of dragged at points.
I think one thing, like I don't know, like I said, like there's a ton of movies that like that I appreciate how like the story and everything they put into it and all the hard work. But if it fucking drags,
yeah,
I can't say it's a good movie, dude.
And
no matter how
this
hard.
movie drags a lot.
It does drag.
Like there's a lot of scenes where you're just kind of like, all right, man, like. I'm on board already. Just get to the point.
Like to me, this entire movie felt like a setup.
But
something.
I think that also has to do with, like I said, like the horror elements.
Yeah.
And I think they detract from the drama aspect of it. Yeah. And I wish it was just a straight drama, because I think it would have been like another like Ed Norte or something like that, like along that line where it's just pure fucking drama and like. There's no like
I think
what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a supernatural aspect.
Yeah,
to
there's nothing like that, because then you're just waiting for that to happen. And
that's true.
Like I said, it kind of distracts you a little bit, because the whole time I was waiting for La Llorona to appear and this and that, and like it doesn't happen. And then like it's too much metaphors instead of just making that cold hard movie that needs to be made. Like when you make a movie about like genocide and this and that, it's often a lot better just to put it out there, without all this like weird supernatural shit, because like I said, it's gonna take away from that, and it would hit so much harder if you just give it just like that, like, you know, a cold fucking movie. And like that's why I feel like shit putting this movie down, because it's like I said, the message is fucking, it's great. Like, it, you know, like about all these consequences that come with doing all this shitty stuff to people. But I don't know. Like I said, like it dragged too much for me, and like I said, the whole horror element to it, it took too much out for me. Cause
I think we looked at each other like after that intro, and both of us were like, oh yeah, like I'm on board. Yeah. Like I was all in. But like I said, like to me, the entire movie just felt like a setup to like a payoff that never happened, in my opinion. Yeah. Like I just felt like the entire time because it was engrossing. Like I was interested the whole time. Like I was like we weren't like rarely joking around, which we usually do, even with movies that we like. And like so, I was just in it, and it was everything was going on, and I don't know. I just felt like
because I'm telling you, it throws these little curves at you, like the main, like I guess the old guy.
Yeah, the dictator.
Would he'd be the main character, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
Like he gets a new maid.
Yeah.
And that maid was part of like those people that got fucking pillaged and shit.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they have two maids, and the older maid's going to sleep, and then that young new maid like sticks her head down, like all creepy like, and it's just like, what the fuck was that about?
Yeah.
It never brings that up again.
That's true. I didn't even think of that.
I'm just like, what? Like that's weird.
Well, because I think what the filmmakers were going for was, like I said, well, I agree with what you said, where it was too metaphorical in a sense, but I think what they were trying to do with that character was to let you know that this character was a representation of what was really haunting this family. That character was really La Llorona.
Yeah.
So she had to act in a way where it was just kind of like too promiscuous and a little too weird for you to like try to put your finger on it. So in that sense, I have to disagree with you guys on your opinion with this.
But if you make her like have like these weird crazy abilities,
because if you pay attention to her, it's almost like she's not there.
Does she say anything?
It's almost like
the guy gets a boner watching her shower.
No, but does she ever say anything?
Yeah,
like,
does she talks to the maid, the other maid.
Does she?
Yeah, she does have dialogue.
Remember they frisk her when she walks in?
Like she's very,
yeah.
she's very soft spoken, and she's very like she doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't want to interact with this family. Like she doesn't want anything to do with this family because she knows what that old man has done, and she knows what she's about. So, but like I said, you kind of have to put your own imagination into that aspect, because if you put too much thought into it, then you're just gonna get thrown off. You know what I mean? You're just gonna be like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Do something with that, instead of spoon feeding yourself, so to speak, so you can be like, you know what? There's something off about you, but I just like I can't put my finger on it, and that's how I felt about her, because to me, she was ultimately like La Llorona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The part that did like fuck me up though was the ending.
Yeah.
Cause I like
the
that
reveal.
Yeah, I was like, what was that? What was that?
Are they doing like the seance and all that, or what?
No,
With the kids, right?
The flashback, yeah, with the kids were like, was that the old lady?
Like his wife.
Well, what I got out
that
of
was
it,
his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I took from that is she was seeing what he did. Like she was showing the wife what he did by putting her in her place. So like from her perspective, the husband was pointing a gun at her head, right? And then he pulls the trigger, but she like opens her eyes and she's still there, and that's when she sees the girl, the other maid. So La Llorona, she was showing the wife what her husband had done, and that's why like when she wakes up, she's like fucking choking him.
Yeah. But did you guys also notice like that she was kind of a witch?
Oh yeah,
because she was fucking like doing all these like,
I mean the beginning
things to fucking protect her.
Yeah.
Her husband or whatever. And yeah, I don't know. One thing I can say, and I realize this now, like it's kind of divisive, the film.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least like it's good enough to like have an interesting conversation about.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like this conversation that we're having right now.
Yeah.
This is the kind of conversation I would want to have with someone who watched that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's intriguing, and it's also like a David Lynch-esque, where it's like the filmmakers aren't like spoon feeding you.
Yeah.
They kind of just let you come up with your own shit. You know what I mean? which is cool. But it ultimately has that message of like, there's things going on in the indigenous world that you don't know that are fucked up, and I mean, sooner or later, some of these people are gonna have to pay, whether it's with their body or with their mind.
Yeah.
And with this dictator, he paid with his mind. You know, he fucking lost his mind, walking around with a fucking boner, breathing hard. What the fuck?
I do that.
Would you guys recommend people watch this movie?
I'd recommend not watching it alone. Like, watch it with someone you want to talk to about it.
Yeah,
after.
yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Somebody you would want to have a discussion about the movie
like
with.
if you and your husband, or you and your boyfriend or your girlfriend, you know, you guys want to have a dialogue after a movie, just watch this.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably be a lot harder for like non-brown people.
Yeah, it's in Spanish, but there is subtitles. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, because it is a folklore that's like the heart of this land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, some other people might watch this and be like, "Why the fuck is she crying?" Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I forgot to mention. Or go ahead before I mention. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you can't pull off a movie that you can get everyone to react, like I said, I watched that movie, A Field Guide to Evil, which is all like folk tales from different countries, and like it had a lot that I loved, and it had like stories that I've never even heard of, but I fucking loved them. And I think there was like 2 in particular that I loved, and that's like another thing. Like if you can't pull off, like if you could only make a movie to like only like, oh, it's only these type of people are gonna like it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I don't know if I can recommend that.
Yeah.
Because it's like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like I don't know, it's kind of hard to say.
Because it's also trying to recommend a movie like El Norte. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I doubt I can recommend that to like my. Well, I don't know. I think a lot of my friends would appreciate it, but. Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know. I'd like to have like that movie brought up one day.
El Norte?
Yeah. I think that's a movie that I watched once and I never want to watch it again, dude.
I've never seen it.
Because it's that powerful. And
yeah.
I fucking like it fucked with me bad.
El Norte?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it.
That's a really.
Well, we'll talk about it one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
What were you gonna say?
The one thing I forgot to bring up about the American La Llorona.
Oh man.
It's part of the Conjuring universe.
The Shudder one is called La Llorona.
La Llorona.
And the American one is called The Curse of La Llorona.
The Curse of La Llorona.
That way we can differentiate.
Yeah. Yeah, the American version is Curse of La Llorona, and Shudder is just La Llorona. Well, the Curse of La Llorona is part of the Conjuring universe. That felt so fucking...
So it's fucking good, then.
That felt so forced in. What was the purpose of revealing that? Like, how did that...
I looked into that, actually, today.
Yeah.
And I guess that priest character is, like, a reoccurring character in the Annabelle.
Oh, really?
I don't know, I guess. Because I was, like, looking it up on the IMDb. It's like, so-and-so reprises his role as priest in this movie for blah, 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 a couple of scenes. You know, and I was like, oh, so I guess, you know, they probably just hit him up and was like, hey, we're trying to make this part of...
But, like, how did that add to the story of the movie?
It didn't.
It was just like, oh, by the way...
Yeah.
Like, that's what it felt like.
Because I know that she was looking for answers. She was looking for a way to fix things. And, of course, you know, like, you can't really go... You can't fucking, like, pick up... No, there's a fucking ghost in my house.
No, but I guess...
You know? So she was just like, I have to... Church? Priest?
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
I get that. And they could have just left it at that with just the priest. But out of nowhere, he says, we did have an incident involving a doll. And it shows like a flashback of him holding Annabelle.
Isn't that how he kind of recommends Tuchel? The Tuchel guy?
Is it?
Because isn't he like,
Man.
Something with the doll, we had a priest help.
We should have brought in an expert for this, dude. Who's into shitty horror movies that we know?
Me.
Well, haven't you seen all the Annabelle and the Conjuring movies?
I've only seen The Conjuring 1 and 2. That's it. I like those movies.
Oh, I thought you saw like The Nun and all
no,
those,
hell
like,
no. Those movies look terrible.
Yeah, I could have sworn you saw them. I mean, you watched Fast Furious.
Because those are cinematic masterpieces.
Oh.
Yeah, true. Criterion shit right there.
Only Tokyo Drift belongs in the Criterion Collection.
You gotta watch that shit.
Bow Wow's in it.
You gotta watch that. You gotta watch those fucking movies with family.
But I don't know. To me, it just felt like for that one, it just felt like it was unnecessary to like have.
It was
Annabelle
like a
in the
10-second
movie.
thing too.
Yeah. Because like that, when she came on the screen, I was like, "Oh my god! Like what the fuck?"
You know, there was people watching this in theaters like, "Oh, dude,
Yeah, oh, yeah, absolutely.
can you believe this?"
Yeah, like I gotta add it to my collection now. I also felt like
honestly, dude, like I would have watched The Curse of La Llorona back in like high school if I wanted to get a hand job, like in a theater. You know. Because that's what that movie is to me. It's just like a teenage horror flick where you just want to take that girl to the theater and just like, you know,
a reason to get close to her.
maybe you can like Copperfield, like
Copperfield?
David?
you know, maybe you could just I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe at the end of the
Hey,
movie.
my
shoot-
boy Birdie's really lonely. You guys.
Horny police, where you at?
No, I also felt like the Spanish felt like Spanish speaking felt forced in that movie. Even though I know those actors that were speaking Spanish, they can speak Spanish. I've heard him in other shit speaking Spanish, like Tuco's character.
Well, they are like Mexican.
Yeah, but for some reason, I just felt like he was like forcing himself to talk Spanish. That's what it seemed like to me.
Well, because the director was like a white guy, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was on set. He was like, just say something in Spanish.
Or he wrote shit down in English and used Google Translate. Like, say this. But yeah, the Shudder one was superior, in my opinion.
Yep.
But yeah, that was. I wasn't expecting to go that long on La Llorona, the movie. Like,
I was.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm super into Mexican stuff. I'm Mexican.
you are. Thought you were American.
I thought you were American.
Well, if you guys have seen either of these movies, let us know what you thought. I would say, like, if you're into like this type, like the Spanish folklore, or even if you're familiar with the La Llorona like folktale, I would suggest watching the one on Shudder. That one definitely.
Yeah, if you want to go to sleep and need help.
Just
if you want to hook up with some chicks, bro, you better break out the Curse of La Llorona.
But this is our first spooky Halloween.
It's motherfucking spooky time, baby.
It's that time of the year, you know. Leaves are falling. Still fucking hot for some
I
reason.
know, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like, man,
Doesn't feel like Halloween.
Trying to
No, it
cuddle with the
doesn't.
homies.
I'm down. But thank you guys for sticking around. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at BetamaxULTD. Let us know. I do want to pose a question. I posted about it yesterday. We're going to do an episode where we're going to talk about like scary experiences or just like some scary stuff you guys have encountered. And we're going to be reading off some submissions. So if you guys have some stories, if you haven't sent us one yet, like go ahead and you can email us or just send us a DM on either Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. And we'll read off some of these stories. We've gotten a few already that I cannot wait to read off. But yeah, go ahead and do that. And you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, just anywhere, basically. We're everywhere. Now, give us a follow, tell your friends, and we'll see you guys next time.
Like and revine.
Revive. Later, guys.